Hi everyone, welcome back to Dave's Whiskey Reviews. Now we've got whiskey review number 16, I think. So this is the second one of the day, and it's a little bit darker than the first one we did, which I would say is probably mid-gold or light gold. Have a look here with the viscosity. Again, this is another sample just picked from my collection here by my wife. In terms of the viscosity of this one, it's looking a bit lower than the last one. It's probably low to medium. And this one's, yeah, it's very, very different to the other one I just had. Much fresher, there's no smoke, it's all on this sort of green apple. And there's a bit of an off note in there as well, like underripe tomato, which I've never really had before. Bit of pastry in there as well. Yeah, that's mainly what it's on. It's mainly this sort of green apple and pastry sort of element. But there's that weird off note. It's kind of putting you off a bit. Slightly rubbery as well, like a bit of burnt rubber. A bit of malt as well. Maltiness coming through. And a very little bit of vanilla, I think, as well. Straight away it's on this sort of green apple, vanilla, there's some pastry that comes in, and then it becomes a little bit spicy with this sort of ginger, vague sort of ginger that's coming through, and then it's back to the green apple. Sort of short, medium finish. In terms of the strength, there is some ABV sort of backing it up. It's not really low. I would have thought at least 43, but it could be more like 46. It's that off note on the nose that's making me think I should know what this is. Yeah, the taste is it's a little bit out of balance, and there's some rubber coming through now as well. Not a fantastic whiskey. Definitely nowhere near the equal of the Kilchoman I just had. But what is it? That is the question. The off notes are leading me towards Tamnavulin, which is a distillery I've never really liked too much. And I know I've got an independent bottling that's a bit older that has a weird off note in it. But equally, there are so many other things it could be. Because often these weird off notes are coming from maybe a combination of something going wrong in the distillation. Maybe they'll sell and then a bad cask, maybe, or it could be either and or both, and then maybe they're selling that to an independent bottler who are putting it on the market, and that's the thing about these independent bottlings, is often they can be very different in style to the distillery bottlings. So I think that this is an independent bottling of a lesser heard of distillery. But which distillery? That's the question. Scotch single malt, again, because that's basically all I have, of course. Green, 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 green. It doesn't taste too, that's why I'm thinking it's not the Tamnavulin, because the Tamnavulin's in 1993 and it's 22 years old and it's 50%, and I think it's lower strength and it's not that old. Green apple, pastry. It could very well be Jura. I mean, a Jura could very much be what this is, but it would be an independent bottling of Jura. I think I'm going to go with not Jura. I think I'm going to go with another distillery. Oh, but then the colour's kind of golden. That's not Balmenach. I was going to go with Balmenach, but I have a feeling that it's a bit lighter than this is. There's a young independent bottling of Balmenach that has a weird off note, but I don't think it's this one because of the colour. I am dying to know what this whiskey is now. I very much want to know. Equally, I very much want to be the person to find out. I am going to go with a different distillery. I'm going to go with Deanston. I'm going to go with Deanston 12 because I don't normally like Deanston that much. And the 12 is partly matured in virgin oak casks. which can, for me anyway, give these kind of green notes, this green, sappy sort of oak and sometimes some weird flavours are sort of thrown up. So that's what I'm going to go with. Deanston 12, that's at 46.3% alcohol. Official bottling, which actually, funnily enough, is not really what I said before at all. I said it was going to be an independent bottling, but the colour is making me think otherwise. Anyway, I would quite like to know what it is now. Ah, oh my God. Well, I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. Highland Park. Highland Park, 15 years old, at 40% alcohol. That's why the viscosity was low, you idiot. Yes, Highland Park 15-year-old, which isn't something you see a whole lot here in the UK. But I think it's more generally available in sort of Central Europe. Yeah, now that I go back to it, I can totally see that. But it's a bit of a weird one. It's not really, I mean, you taste the 12-year-old. If you taste Highland Park 12, you very much get that style of the orange marmalade and the heather and the smoke. And this 15 is very, very, very different. It's much more kind of natural, a bit more spirity. But really, you want to be buying the 12 or the 18. I'm not such a big fan of this one. Well, I got that one very, very wrong. But I'm quite pleased with my thought process there. Just going back to it, making a bit more sense, having a bit more of a think about what it could be. I feel like I am improving at this, even if it doesn't maybe seem like it at times. Yeah, it's those sort of slightly tropical notes. Very, very different in style to the rest of that whole Highland Park range is very linear. You've got the 12, all the way up to the 40 and 50-year-old are all very much, I haven't tasted the 50, but the rest of them are very, very much follow the same character. Apart from this 15, the 15 is the one that sort of stands apart a little bit from the rest of the range as being a bit of an oddball, which is a shame, and maybe is why it's not available really in the UK. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you next time, and maybe one of these days I'll get some of them right again, but they haven't been particularly obvious, the last ones I've been doing. But anyway, thank you very much.